test it. Yep. It works. So with this mouse, you can pretty much macro any video game that uses hotkeys. So like for example, here's Diablo 2 Resurrected. If you go into the game menu on Diablo and look in options and controls, you can see all the key bindings and you can customize them any way you want. Two main ones to note here would be the swap weapon key binding, which defaults to W, and then skill slots 1 through 16, which skill slots 1 through 8 default as F1 through F8. These I set up on my own. So anyway, once you figure out which key bindings you're going to use, you'll go down here and go to your skill slots, and you just mouse over which skill you want to keybind and you click the key binding. So if you look here, you see that teleport is bound to F1. If I just go up here and click F1, it keybinds battle command to F1. And I can go through that with this short rotation here. So it would be battle command, battle orders, frozen armor, energy shield, and we're going to do all this with one button. So now that we see the key bindings, we're going to go here into the driver software for this mouse. It defaults to 1 through 9 on buttons 1 through 9 and 0 on button 10, numpad plus and minus on 11 and 12, and the fire key over here on button 13. So we're going to go over to macros, and here's one I already made, but we'll delete it. And we'll call this one D2R sort underscore buffs. I'm using underscores because you can't use spaces on these, at least not on the names. And then you can either start recording your macro by pressing this and pressing the buttons on the keyboard and it'll record it in real time. Or you can go down here and use the insert event and build it line by line. So the first thing we're going to do is, if I go back here and pull that up, can't look at both at the same time. I got Call to Arms on my offhand and Heart of the Oak on my main hand. So we're going to want to do a weapon swap. So to do that, it's just key down on W, 50 millisecond delay for the computer to register that you press W, and then key up on W. And then we're going to add a 200 millisecond delay for the game to carry out the animation. Maybe more if you have lag, maybe less if your computer's running faster, I'm not sure. And then we're going to pull out, we're going to pull out the first spell, which would be battle command, so F1. So we're going to key down F1. We're going to add a 50 millisecond delay. We're going to key up F1. And then we're going to add a 50 millisecond delay. And then we're going to right button down. So what this did is this will select battle command for us, and then this will right click it. And then after it right clicks it, we're going to add about a third of a second delay, so 333 milliseconds. And this will give your character time to cast the spell before you move on to the next part of the sequence, which in this case, battle command can buff itself once. At least I'm pretty sure that's still the case. So we're going to do another right click. And then another 333 millisecond delay. And then we're going to do a key down on F2, which is our second spell. We're going to add a 50 millisecond delay between the button down and the button up, just like the last one. And then we're going to add a 50 millisecond delay before the next command, and we're going to right click. And I'll add a 333 millisecond delay for the animation of battle orders. And then at this point we're going to want to swap back to the Heart of Oak and use Frozen Armor and Energy Shield. So we're going to do a weapon swap. Just key down and W. 50 millisecond delay. Key up on W. And then we're going to do key down on F3. Oh wait, no, sorry. We're going to add a 200 millisecond delay for the animation of swapping the weapons. And then we're going to key down on F3, our third spell in the rotation. And we're going to add a 50 millisecond delay in between commands like usual. And do a right click. Then a 333 millisecond delay for the spell cast. And then a key down on F4. A 50 millisecond delay in between key down and key up. And then we're going to bring F4 back up. And we're going to add a 50 millisecond delay in between commands. Then we're going to do a right click. A 333 millisecond delay after the animation, or to cast the animation. And at this point, I'm going to want it to swap back to teleport, which I'm going to set to F5. So that'll be key down, F5, 50 millisecond delay, key up, F5, and then 50 millisecond delay, and a right click. Okay, so now that we have our macro built, we'll go over here to the main menu. And I'm going to assign it to button 3, so I just click on button 3, macros, look for the one I just built. Oh, whoops, left out the R on sort. Oh well. Select it, and now let's test it. Swap to Heart of Oak, and then I'll just press button 3. Oh, forgot I gotta. And let's test it.